Back guys to another tour. Not a tutorial, it's a tour. It's gonna be or a review. It's gonna be a review or a tour in my own airbase. And yeah, just have some references here from like the past videos of my channel. Yeah. Anyways, let's get to first person view and let's have a look at the assets that we have. So starting here on the runway, we have a okay, yeah, it's been a long time. I've really been forgetting things. I think this is the Super Tucano. Yeah, made by Brazilian defense company, whatever. But yeah, it is pretty much the newest attack aircraft of the Philippine Air Force. This will pretty much replace the OV-10 Broncos. Yeah, and pretty much this the Air Force base itself, I pretty much based it on the real life air base of the Philippine Air Force, which is the Clark Air Base, located at Clark. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, doesn't it? Anyways, here we have a conveyor kingfish. If you don't know it, don't worry, I will introduce you. The conveyor kingfish is pretty much the adversary of the SR-71. Yeah, because back then when the US Air Force is still trying to procure a replacement for the, what is that? U-2? U-2 Dragon Lady spy plane? Yeah. Yeah, it's of course made by Conveyor, the design. But of course, if Conveyor had won the acquisition project, of course, this is what we would have instead of the infamous SR-71. And speaking of SR-71, here we have a variant of it, which is the fighter variant, which also I just done a tutorial of it. And you can just check that out in my channel. This is of course the YF-12, which is pretty much the fighter variant of the SR-71. Yeah, just regular SR-71, but you have an bomb bay in this area here. I did a tutorial on it if you just look at it on the channel. And we have a control tower that is totally empty. I didn't even bother putting some details in there. Okay, so moving here on the hangars. Here we have the, what is this? Yeah, I think this is the Mercury MI 211, I think. Yeah, I think, yeah, I put the wrong name in there. I'll change it soon. But yeah, pretty much currently it's the jet trainer aircraft of the Philippine Air Force, and maybe sooner or later I will also have a tutorial on this one. Moving on, here we have a supersonic F5 Freedom Fighter, and I don't know why it did that, but let's not mind that. This is pretty much the fighter of the Philippine Air Force back then. Maybe late 90s to early 2000s, I'm not sure, but yeah, I also did a tutorial of that one. And this one, it is the FA-50 Golden Eagle from South Korea, and of course it's the current multi-role light fighter, multi-role light aircraft. Let's just call it a light fighter of the Philippine Air Force currently. Actually, I think the F5 is made by Northrop Grumman, I think. And of course that one is of course made by Mercury. It's on its name, okay. Okay, so moving on, here we have the OV-10 Bronco, but kind of need some improvements. This is an old design. Yeah. Here we have just a sci-fi ass thing, you know. It's just pretty much I think I saw this in like YouTube where some YouTube video have those, you know, ridiculous clickbait thumbnail, and it have this, which is pretty much just like the futuristic version of the 18 Warthog. And I'm sure this is really out of scale, because of course this is not how big, if it's gonna be on 1.5 to 1 scale. So yeah, it's kind of too small. I'll improve on that later on. Yeah, pretty much. And moving on, here we have an F-16. Of course, actually credits to I think that's Crafty Foxy that made this, or one of his friends, that is, I don't know. But yeah, that is not totally not my design. And here we have I think this is the F-15, maybe. Let's look at some signs. Oh yep, F-15E. This is pretty much heavily based on the F-15E that is also of Crafty Fox's design, but I just changed it a bit. Yeah, but the old ones, not the new ones, because I just saw him uploading a new one, an update version. And here we have a KF-21 Borame, which is pretty much gonna be the new generation multi-role fighter of pretty much the South Korean Air Force. Yeah, it's pretty much like a abomination in between the F-22 and F-35. I mean, the wings, the whatever the things here, the surface controls and the wings, definitely look like a freaking F-35, and the thing here, the air intakes, definitely similar to F-22. Yeah. Yeah, so moving on, here we have here a, what is this? Oh yeah, F-15K from the anime Pat Labor 2. In the anime, this is used by the JSDF, Japan Self-Defense Forces, but specifically the Air Force branch of the JSDF. Yeah, pretty much it's just like an F-15, but you know, with some sci-fi ass features here. Like, you look at that, dude. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Oh, I also have that weird canards. I mean, if you don't have a, wait, it's vertical stabilizer, right? Or horizontal, I don't know. If you don't have a horizontal, I'm so confused now. Horizontal or vertical stabilizer, whatever, you don't need the canards here in the front. Anyways, it's just sci-fi. And here we have, of course, the Black Eagle from Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. And yeah, I just recently, I mean, recently just updated the design of this, tutorial of it. Yeah, pretty much. Let's move on to the other stuff. And pretty much here we have some massive fuel tanks with some fuel trucks, you know, aviation fuel or jet fuel. We have another control tower in there. Okay, so come here. You here have a, man, I really keep forgetting things, huh? I think this is a heavy lift helicopter used by the US Navy. I just don't know what's like the designation name, but the quoted name of it is pretty much the Sea King. Yeah, that's all I know about that. This is what is this? Oh my god, I forgot about it. I don't know, but all I remember is that this is pretty much gonna replace the Mercury S211 for the trainer, for a trainer aircraft. Yeah, so pretty much gonna be the new gen trainer aircraft of the Philippine Air Force. I just forgot things about it really. Okay, so here have some, oh yeah, just 33, I think, Griffin. Another made by Saab, another Swedish defense company. Yeah, the reason why I built this is actually this could potentially be another aircraft that the Philippine Air Force would procure under the Horizon 2 of the AFP modernization program, or maybe on the Horizon 3, you don't know. You know, military stuff, it's classified. And we have here my own design of the A10 Warthog. Yeah, you know, very infamous attack aircraft that whatever. Okay, here we have another aircraft from the anime But Labor 2 again. This is pretty much an attack helicopter. Just let's say this is just pretty much the Apache on steroids. Man, I'm really slowly forgetting things, huh? Yeah, I also forgot the name of this thing. That's why I put science now. And of course here the MV, I think, MV-38 from MV-38 Condor from the game Battlefield 20. Oh my god, I'm really forgetting this. 2034, I think. Whatever. Just the latest Battlefield game. Here we have the Wasp, which is pretty much a VTOL, another VTOL aircraft. And also, of course, this is from the game Halo Infinite, the newest game, also in the Halo franchise. In here we have an Orca attack craft, which is pretty much another VTOL aircraft from another game, which is Command and Conquer Siberian Wars, I think. As long as Kane is in there, that thing is in there. Okay, so moving on. Now we just have some empty. Oh, I thought this is empty. Yeah, I forgot this also. I forgot the name of it. Fuck. Anyways, don't worry. I'll just edit some things out so you would know its name. But yeah, it's pretty much the newest transport aircraft of the Philippine Air Force, of course. I think it's from Spain. Man, I'm really forgetting things. Okay, so moving on. Okay, here's another stuff that I fucking forget. Yeah, I think this is the new generation fighter of the Russian Air Force. It's pretty much their answer on the F-35. It's not VTOL though. It doesn't have a VTOL variant. But yeah, don't worry. As I said, I'll put out some text if I edit the video, so you would know its name. And then here we have the. Wow, I'm really forgetting things. Let's see if we have some sign. Nope. I don't know what specific aircraft this is, but of of course, this is the infamous Ghost of Kiev. Yeah, we even have there. It's pretty much a reference in real life, of course. Yeah. Jesus. Here we have the FX. What is that? FX new generation fighter of the US Air Force. Pretty much. This is just a concept. This is not how it would look like in real life. Of course, it's just a concept. Yeah. So moving on, we have some more hangars here. Yeah. Of course, this is the AGI T140 or T160, I think. Yeah, man, I'm really forgetting things. T140 or T160 is, of course, the it's pretty much gonna be the trainer aircrafts, jet trainer aircraft of the Philippine Air Force back then. I don't know which specific year or era it is, but it is back then. Okay, so here you have the F8 Volt F8, which also had been used by the Philippine Air Force. They had few units back then also. I still don't know what era it is or what year. Yeah, I just forget to put things in there. Here we just have another empty hangar. Here we have the, of course, the C-130 Hercules. So the Philippine Air Force had some second-hand ones back then, still being used now, and also they'll also procure new ones still under the Horizon 3 of the AFP modernization program. Yeah, I mean, it's infamous. I don't need to explain that much. In here we have pretty much the very top secret BT-91 Raider. It's gonna be the new generation stealth bomber of the US Air Force. Yeah. Yep. I already done a tutorial of this also. Oh, and the T1410 and that F8, I also done a tutorial on that. And here we pretty much have the SR-72. This is just pure assumptions and not the reality. And also you might see this on the new trailer of the new Top Gun Maverick, which is in the movie this is named as the Dart Star. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make a tutorial of this soon, but yeah, pretty much this is gonna be a new generation spy plane or reconnaissance plane of the Air Force, US Air Force. And here we have some F-117, the first stealth fighter aircraft of the US Air Force, of course. It's infamous enough that I don't need to explain that much of it. You just have to look at it. Oops. Okay, so we have here the Chinook. I also don't know the designation of this, that's why I will just call it Chinook. Of course, it's the heavy lift aircraft of the US Army. And I think it's not just the US Army that uses this. Yeah. I also heavily based this on the design of Crafty Foxy. It's just pretty much one of the YouTubers that got me into this in the first place, doing a tutorial instead of playing some old games. Just kidding. I don't know, I might actually soon I might actually go back and play some more Delta Force and maybe some more Among Us. I mean, it's not really popular anymore, the Among Us, but you don't know. I might still do it. Okay, so here we have some attack helicopters. It's pretty much the 360 Invictus. Yeah, this will be the new generation attack aircraft. I mean, attack helicopter of the U.S. Air Force. This might or might not replace the what the heck? This might or might not replace the Apache, which is pretty much the oldest attack aircraft carrier. It's still in service in the U.S. Air Force, of course. In here we have the newest attack helicopter of the Philippine Air Force, which I also forgot its name. Although, don't worry, I have some tutorial of it also, but on that tutorial it doesn't have this camo. It's just pure green, so yeah, that's the main difference of it. Okay, so moving on. Don't worry, we have some more assets here. Oh, here we have the Ornithopter from the movie Dune. No. Okay, so we have here the Defiant X. I think made by Sikorsky. Maybe it's a Defiant X or maybe it's the Raider X. I don't know. I think the Raider X is like the attack helicopter variant of it, but the Defiant X is like the utility helicopter variant of it. I think I need to update that. And here we have I think this is the MQ-20. Yeah, pretty much gonna be a new generation UAV or unmanned aerial vehicle of the U.S. Air Force. Yeah, it's not that much different really. Of course, here we have a V-28 Valor, and yeah, I will ask again if you guys need a tutorial on this one, because I kind of want to have a tutorial on that one. Okay, so moving on here, we have an FA-18, heavily based also on the design of Crafty Foxy. Who else? Yeah. Oh, and here we have my very favorite prototype aircraft, which is the F-23 Black Widow. Yeah, pretty much. And of course, this, if you don't know, this is pretty much the competitor of the F-22 Raptor back then, when the US Air Force needed to procure a next-gen fighter aircraft, I mean stealth fighter aircraft, to, you know, combat the Soviet Union's fighter aircrafts. Yeah. Moving on. Here we have the Hermes 900. Is it the 900? Yeah, Hermes 900 is pretty much the new UAV or unmanned aerial vehicle of the Philippine Air Force, and we have here the Hermes 450. Yeah, it's just a crappier version of it. Anyways, moving on, here we have the MQ-8C, which is of course a variant of the MQ-8A, which is that thing in there. These are of course unmanned helicopters. I think the MQ-8A is primarily used by the US Navy. I don't know about the MQ-8C. I think it's also being used by the US Navy. Yeah. Here we have just some generic drones. Yeah. And here's the guy controlling it. Anyways. Here we have the Bayraktar. Yes, of course, very infamous because of the current war, Ukraine and Russia, and of course not just only infamous because of the current conflicts. It's also become infamous because of I think the conflict between Armenia and Georgia, I think. Not the state, the country Georgia. Not the state, okay. Yeah. Yep, pretty much. Let's see if we have. Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot what's the name of this also. But I recently saw in the news that the Australian Air Force currently procured this, which is of course another UAV, but instead of just reconnaissance, it's a fighter. Yeah, it's the loyal wingman. Yeah, that is that is all I know about this one. It's somewhere MQ-28 maybe, but yeah. Let's look for more, which I might have forget. Let's go at the runway. I might have some aircraft left out in there. Okay, seems that we don't really have that much left out. Yeah, that's the aircraft we just started with, Super Tucano. And the 17 is just a random number that I just choose. It's definitely not connected to anything. That is definitely not my age. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, I almost forgot. We have some anti-air batteries or SAMs in here. Where are they? Let's see. Okay, here they are. They're on a hangar. Okay, so here is the Patriot missile system. Pretty much just right there. Yeah. No need to explain anything. This one is infamous enough. Here we have a land-based Seawiz phalanx. Of course, this is the design of Crafty Foxy. Who else? And pretty much this is the radar that would of course help the Patriot missile system to acquire some targets. Of course, yeah. And here we have the Spider, I think, but it's spelled with Y instead of I. Spider Sam, yeah, just call it Spider Sam. Spider Sam, Spider Sam. That's what Spider does. Anyways, this is pretty much the newly procured anti-air SAM battery of the Philippine Air Force. Yeah. No need to explain. Of course, I don't know if they actually included this, but of course this is the radar of it also. Yeah. And here we have the Flak Panzer. Flak. I'm not German, okay. Anyways, this is of course the SPAAG of the Is it the German army? Yeah, maybe. German army, yeah. Flak Panzer. Of course, have some just those dual guns, have a high rate of fire, radar, more radar. And here we have that old SPAG from that old tutorial of my tutorial of the M113. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much I put it in here because it just doesn't belong to the army base, and it also doesn't belong to the Philippine army. I don't even know who actually uses those. But yeah, I think that is all so far. So yeah, we'll say my goodbyes and see you in another videos.